Hi guys, and welcome back to another video game with the powers. I'm Jake, and in today's video I am bringing you guys another learn and play video, taking a look at the card game Doomlings. Yesterday we dropped a learn and play video of the brand new bolster expansion Castle Glass, and in today's video we're going to be taking a look at the most recent bolster expansion that was released some time ago, called Shadow Puppets. Now these Shadow Puppets are going to bring in Deeplings, Moonlings, Glitterlings, and Fuzzlings, which were featured in the Imaginary Ends expansion. So this is bringing in some more of those crazy and wacky characters. So let's go ahead and jump down to the table, guys, where we can learn and play the Shadow Puppets bolster expansion for the card game Doomlings. All right, guys, so we're down here at the table where we got everything set up for our two-player playthrough here. And let's go ahead and take a look at this Shadow Puppets bolster expansion. So this is gonna bring you 40 cards plus one hollow foil. And you can see on the back here, it is gonna be featuring some Deeplings, Moonlings, Glitterlings, and Fuzzlings, all right? Now this does require the base game to play. It also it says add the Imaginary Ends expansion for more catastrophic fun, which we have done so today. So if you guys are not familiar, there is another expansion called Imaginary Ends, which is going to bring you a variety of new traits that you can see down here: Deeplings, Moonlings, Glitterlings, Fuzzlings, and Magical Merchants. So we can see all of these crazy things on the back. So you are going to see some cards from the Imaginary Ends expansion, but mostly we're going to be highlighting these Shadow Puppet cards. So what is new in these Shadow Puppets cards, where there is specifically one new mechanic called the Deeplings, right? And that's actually the Imaginary Ends version of the Deeplings. But here is the Shadow Puppets Deeplings card. So Deeplings introduce Suppress. So Suppress effects help you grow your power with smaller trait piles. Suppress cards hide face down in your trait pile. They're worth +1 point each, but they do not count as traits. And so you can see the back here on scoring. So Deeplings help you grow in power with smaller trait piles. They can turn unwanted cards into nothing but points. So scoring, suppress cards are not traits. They have no face value and do not count toward drop of life effects. They're worth +1 point each. So when you suppress a card, place a suppress card face down under any trait in your trait pile, excluding dominance. Any number of cards may be suppressed under a single trait. When you suppress a card, suppress it to your trait pile regardless of where it came from. So that's kind of some of the mechanics, or that's the new mechanic here that is coming with the Deeplings. And again, it's also in this variety expansion as well. All right, guys, well, let's go ahead and jump in. And I do want to note that, again, the whole purpose of this video is to showcase the cards here in the Shadow Puppets expansion. So mainly the cards that we're going to be using today came from this box. Now, as I mentioned earlier, you do need the base game to play Shadow Puppets, and you can also mix in Imaginary Ends as well. But there is the off chance in the playthrough today that there are going to be some funky interactions that will not normally happen in a standard game of Doomlings, because I am just purely trying to showcase to you the cards that are in this Shadow Puppets expansion. So do want to note that off the bat. And like with yesterday's video, the Castle Glass, I want to be surprised when I'm playing this and give my first initial impressions and thoughts. So we're going to be playing randomly. So each character is going to have a hand of 5 cards. I'm simply going to mix them up, shuffle, and draw the top card of the deck, and that is the card that will be played today. So everything is going to be completely random, giving us a true showcase and feel of some of these cards. All right, guys. Well, yesterday, player 1 was the start player, so we're going to go ahead and start with player 2 today. They are going to flip over that Birth of Life card, where we're going to set our gene pools to 5, which we have already done so right here. And then we are going to play 1 trait and stabilize at the end of our turn. So player number 2 is going to shuffle this up. Now, I did start everybody's hand with 5 cards from the Imaginary Ends expansion. So let's go ahead and play our first card, which is going to be Elegance. All right, you and all your friends may discard any negative cards from your hand. So we'll go ahead and drop that down below, and let's see if we have any negative cards. We do not have any negative cards, and let's see, this player over here does not have any negative cards as well. So we do not need to do that action. We'll need to stabilize now, draw back up, and we are getting a Moomph. All right, Moomph is going into our hand. So that is the first player's turn. Or that's the player number 2. Let's go ahead and give this a shuffle and see what this player is going to play. We have Imaginative. So choose a color and discard the top card of the trait deck. If it is the chosen color, you and all of your friends draw 2. Yay. Oh, that's so sweet. Okay, this player is going to name, let's go with Red. All right, red from the top of the deck, and we have failed. It is a blue, so none of us are drawing any cards, and then we will go back and draw back up. Oh, I was so close, so close. We have Ferp there. All right, back over to this player. Let's go ahead and flip our first age card. Now, there is a 2 age cards and 1 catastrophe here from the Shadow Puppets, but this is our Imaginary Ends age. So this is fading away. After playing a trait and resolving its effect, suppress it. Wow. Alrighty, alrighty. So we are going to suppress this card here, flip this over, and we are playing Bedazzled. So draw 1 card. If it is an effectless, play it now. If it is a glittering, repeat this action. So we will play that. We'll draw 1 card. If it is an effectless, we can play it now. So this does have an effect on here. If it is a glittering, repeat this action, which it actually is a glittering. So we will play this. All right. Now it doesn't say if it says if it's effectless, we play it now. It is not effectless, so it technically does have an effect. So we would not play it, but it is a glittering, so we would repeat that action. So that is how that is going to resolve. So we will repeat this action, and we're only going to do this 1 more time because, like I said, guys, there might be some funny interactions here. Well, I'll go a couple times. So this is an effectless. We would play this, all right, and then that is a glittering. We'll do it again. And let's see what we get. This is a glittering. So this player is going to continue to do this. This is another effectless. And we'll try 1 more time and see what we get. And now we would actually stop. So again, this is kind of a wonky situation here because again, all of the cards in here are either Moonlings, Glitterings, or Fuzzlings, right? So this would typically not happen in a standard game of Doomlings, but we have that one, so we are not playing it. So that is the full resolution of Bedazzled there. All right, now we need to suppress this card after resolving its effect. So we will suppress that and slide that under Woshambo. Okay, that is our full thing. Now, we have to stabilize. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We do have 6 cards in our hand, so we will need to get rid of 1 card, and we'll go ahead and discard this. Oh no, that's the dominant Rainbow Magic. Okay, so we are down to 5 cards, and we'll go over to this player. So this player is randomly going to play his card, and let's see what we got. We have Mary. So +1 for every dominant in all your friends' trait piles. So we play Mary, and then after resolving its effect, we will go ahead and suppress it, sliding it underneath Imaginative right there. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, we'll need to draw a new card, and we are drawing Self-Doubt. Oh, that's so tragic. And now we are back to this player. So we'll need to draw a new age card. And we have Shadow Puppets, our first Shadow Puppets age card. Right on the money. Look at that. So this says, at the start of the turn, you may swap hands with an opponent. And you know what? Let's do it. So let's go ahead and swap hands with this opponent. And then now we will play a card. And let's see what we're gonna do. We will play Frumple Pumple. All right, this is +5 if you hold 3 or fewer cards. Wow, that is interesting. Let's make sure we can still see Mr. Frumple Pumple right there, which we can. All right, and then let's go ahead and draw 1 card, which is imperfect. Okay, so now it's this player. He's like, you know what? I want my hand back. So we're gonna go ahead and swap cards back. And we're going to play from this hand again and see what we get. And we have awesome. Oh, look at that. First, dominance. So at World's End, we can stabilize to 2 cards. Add 2 face values in your hand to your score for a max of 17. Okay, interesting. We'll need to go back up to 5. We get Dark Thoughts. And moving on, so we'll need to draw a new age card, and we have our first catastrophe here from Imaginary Ends, Moon Apocalypse. Wow. So -2 to the gene pool. This catastrophe cannot reduce your gene pool lower than 4. Alrighty. And then at World's End, -5 if your gene pool is 4 or higher. So we would go -2, but it says it cannot reduce it lower than 4. So each player will reduce back to 4. And then it will be this player's turn, will be the start player now. And we will go ahead and play. All right, let me give this deck a nice shuffle. And let's see what we're playing. We have Wishful. All right, nothing fancy. Standard Wishful card, and then we are at 4 cards, so we will not stabilize. Moving over to this player right here. Let's go ahead and see what we got. Shrouded. All right. Suppress 1 from your hand. At the start of your turns, you may draw all suppressed cards from under Shrouded. Ooh, interesting. So we'll play Shrouded. We can suppress 1 card. We'll do a randomly over here. Suppress a card under him, and then at the start of my turn, I may draw all suppressed cards from under Shrouded. So we will need to draw a new card to get to 4, and we have Repressed. All right, Repressed. So this player is our new first player, so we will draw our new age card, Moonlight. If your gene pool is 4 or higher, we must discard 1 card. If your gene pool is 3 or lower, draw 2. So our gene pool is 4, exactly, so we will need to discard 1 card. Let's go ahead and discard, oh no, not Dark Thoughts. And we'll go ahead and play a card. We have Ferp. Wow. -2 to the gene pool, still 1 from an opponent's trait pile. So we'll go Ferp first, -2 to the gene pool. So we're at 2, and then we can steal 1 from an opponent's trait pile. And you know what? I think we steal Frumple Pumple right there, because we are not going to have very many cards in our hand at the end of the game. So we are down to 2 cards, which our gene pool is 2. So we will not do anything. Moving on to this player. So we will need to discard 1 card as well, because our gene pool is a 4. And then let's go ahead and play some cards. And what are we playing? Mumph. Oh, so sweet. So sweet. We'll play Mumph right there. And our gene pool is 4. So we will draw 2 cards. Womp and Tumpleo. All right, interesting. Okay, back to this player over here. Need to draw a new age card. We have Glitter Storm from Imaginary Ends. Discard 1, 2, or 3 cards from your hand at random, and then stabilize. All right, well, I gotta choose 1. Let's just discard 1 from the bottom. Self-doubt. Oh, then we get to stabilize. So we get to stabilize to 2. That is Mumbly Blops. All right. And I'm going to close my eyes really quickly here. And with whatever card is on top, ready, stop right here. Boom. And it is Mumbly Womps that we're going to drop down for -2, unfortunately. That is the end of our turn. So we'll need to stabilize that Yobando. Oh, man. Now we're getting the minus cards here. Back over to this player, we need to choose to discard 1, 2, or 3 cards at random. Let's just discard our top card, which is Womp. Or actually, I probably should give that a shuffle first and then choose to discard because that Womp was on top. Oh no. All right, let's see what gets discarded still. Repressed. All right, Repressed is discarded. Then we stabilize, so we get to go up to 4. So we have Quiet now. All righty. And let's see what we are playing. Umbleboos. All right, -2 to your gene pool. You may play Umbleboos at any time into a trait pile with a gene pool of 6 or higher. Interesting. So -2, we are down to 2. We have 3 cards, so we'll need to get rid of 1 randomly, and we get rid of Womp. And that's the end of the turn. All right, moving on to this player. All right, Shadow Puppets, a new age card. Toddle's Emporium of Lost Things. Draw 2 cards, then discard 2 from your hand at random. Draw 3 cards, actually. So let's go Too Many Eyes, Stitched, and Immutable. Okay, so we will shuffle this up and discard our top 2 cards. So 1 and 2. Alrighty, and then we will play our card for our actual phase, which is Yobando. So you may play Yobando when an opponent targets a single trait in your trait pile, unless they target a dominant. That effect targets Yobando instead. Alrighty, we're gonna drop him down on the -1, and we have 2 cards left over, so that is our turn. Alright, this player, draw 3, Bound, Outgrown, and Soft. Oh, look at the cute little ducky. All right, let's give this a nice little shuffle here. All right, and discard 2 cards. Oh, we're discarded the little ducky. And Bound. All right, and then they are gonna play their hand, which is Tumpaleo. If your gene pool is 4 - 4, 3 + 2, 2 + 4, 1 + 8. Okay, interesting. So let's play this guy right here. Alrighty, and we are down at 2, so that is going to be the end. So we will go to the next card, which is a Catastrophe. All right, -1 to the gene pool. If you hold 3 or fewer cards, suppress 1 random card in your hand and stabilize. So let's go ahead and hit this player first. So -1 to the gene pool, bringing him down to 1. All right, if you hold 3 or fewer cards, we do suppress 1 card in random from your hand and stabilize. And we'll put this card underneath our Imaginative right there, and stabilize. We're already stabilizing to 1. All right, this player over here, gene pool drops to 1 card at random. We will suppress under this guy, Mr. Shrouded over there, and then we've stabilized to 1, and then now it is back over to this player to start our final age, which is Sunshine and Tea Parties. Look at that cutie. Draw 1 and reveal it to all of your friends. So we're gonna draw our Frayed, reveal it to our friends, and then we will play a card at random from our hands, and I'm stopping here, and we play Frayed. Okay, beautiful, beautiful right there. All right, we are at 1 card, so we do not need to stabilize. Back over to this player right here. Draw 1 card, reveal it to our friends. We have Broken. All right, so we will go random. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and stop. All right, Stitched. So, start of your turn, you may discard a positive trait from your trait pile to play 1. Ignore its action. Oof, that is rough. This player is getting hit with a lot of negative cards. We are at 1, so we go back over to this player. Last Catastrophe here, Shadow Puppets. This is the one from Shadow Puppets. Regret. -1 to the gene pool. Return 1 from your trait pile to your hand. Okay, so everybody's got to go -1. You cannot go lower than 1. We return 1 from our trait pile to the hand. So I think this player will do Glomp. So Glomp will go back to his hand. This player is going to do maybe Stitched, because that is a -2 back to his hand. Okay, and then we'll activate World's End. So subtract the face value of 1 card in your hand from your final score. Oof, that is rough. But this is a conclusion here of a playthrough, guys, using and featuring this Shadow Puppets bolster expansion, along with some of the cards that you might find in the imaginary ends. If you guys are not familiar with final scoring works, basically how this would work now is you would count up the number of points on your cards. Again, you would factor in the World's End, and you would also factor in the suppressed cards that are tucked under each of those Deeplings. All right, guys, well, look, I hope you enjoyed this learn and play video, taking a look at the Shadow Puppets bolster expansion for Doomlings. A lot of very interesting and unique cards with this one, a lot of minus cards, actually. So it's interesting of how you want to play some of these particular cards into your trait pile or maybe into your opponent's trait pile. I do think this expansion works really well integrating with the base game, where you're allowed to steal and manipulate some of the other traits. All right, guys, if you enjoyed this content, smash that like button, hit that notification bell. If you guys want to pick up the Shadow Puppets bolster expansion, go ahead, check the link down in my description below. You can pick this up, and they are still having a sale, guys. If you purchase 1 item from the Doomlings store, you get a free hollow foil pumpkin head trait card that is coming in your order for free. So if you want that card, go ahead and pick up either this expansion, the Castle Glass expansion, or pick up something else from the Doomlings universe universe, and you guys can get that fun holo foil card for free. If you enjoy these videos, go ahead, comment down below. What is your favorite Doomlings expansion? Have you tried any of them? I'll be curious to see what you think and which one is your favorite. And last but not least, guys, if you are not subscribed to our channel, please go ahead and subscribe so we can keep bringing you some more awesome content. All right, guys, have a great one. Bye.